but I'm going to take you to Lebanon and Yemen really quickly. So let's do number 20 tomorrow, because the Yemeni armed forces, Ansar Allah, got another MQ-9 Reaper drone, dropped another $30 million drone. And this is interesting because they show the impact. They've been cutting the impact, and Hezbollah cuts the impact in an attempt to hide what missile they're using. I've talked about this before. I believe they're using a Type 358 loitering munition. That's an Iranian invention, and that has been used by these fighters. You can watch it here. It explodes ahead of time. So you see how it explodes ahead of time. It doesn't explode on the vehicle. See, it explodes ahead of time. And then if we look at the next footage tomorrow, you can see the Yemeni armed forces standing on it. This was a video that was published by the Associated Press, and you can see that the MQ-9 Reaper drone that we're looking there, United States flagship drone, it's intact largely because the explosion was separate from, it was an area explosion that broke it apart, and it landed in more or less intact. They put the pieces together, but make it look more or less intact. And this is the third Reaper that Ansar Allah has got in May, that they got in May. It's the 6th overall. These are $30 million drones. They fly at 50,000 feet for 24 straight hours. It's the flagship. It's a hunter-killer drone. They carry out attacks. They carry out surveillance. And the number that people agree on is 30 million. But if you go to the U.S. Air Force procurement page, they have it at 50 million per unit. So that's interesting to see. And of course, they're still disrupting shipping in the Red Sea, blocking shipping to Israel. The United States and the UK bombed on shore this week in Yemen, killed dozens, and Hamas released a statement condemning that action. So both the groups are giving statements in both directions of solidarity, and that continues. Let's go to 21 tomorrow, because Hezbollah has been busy. They released a video the other day of their 2000th operations. They announced that it was their 2000th operation. And so this is a little mixtape that they put together for us, showing all of these operations. I try to pick some Hezbollah ones to keep you just to keep everybody abreast of what's going on. But there's so much happening in Lebanon that it's difficult to cover it all. There's been fires all through the north in Kiryat Shmona. The Israeli media was calling what Kiryat Shmona looked like. They were saying, this is Khan Yunis, this is Jabaliya, this is not Israel. They're comparing the destruction to the destruction that they want to carry out. They don't want it to happen to them, not to the Israelis, but that's what's happening. The North looks that way. Let's skip ahead to tomorrow here to 22, because the 2000th operation by Hezbollah was the downing of an Elbit Hermes 900 drone. This is the Israeli flagship drone, and this is the second one they've downed. They've also downed 2 Hermes 450s. And again, Hezbollah cropped the frames where we see the missile hit. So we don't know what munition they're using. They're keeping it a secret still. But this pretty spectacularly fell from the sky with the surface-to-air missile that they're tracking. And you can see these drones fly very high. So this weapon is getting up into the sky at a level that is surprising, I think, the Israelis. And it's something that definitely is a game-changing development, that they can drop these drones all the time now in Ansar Allah in Yemen, and Hezbollah can do this consistently all the time. And if we just go to number 23 tomorrow, you can see this footage here taken by a Lebanese citizen here of the drone, pretty spectacularly falling out of the sky. Yeah, let's do 24. Just 24. This is the Ramia site. This is on the base. This is a base on the northern border. And Gallant, the defense minister, Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israel Herzog, the president and chief of staff of the IDF, Halevi, they all visited this site, and they did a press conference saying that they had pushed Hezbollah 10 kilometers off the border. The next day, Hezbollah released this video showing their fighters running up to the border with small arms and firing on this position. So normally in these Hezbollah videos, we don't really see the fighters much, but look, they're taking their small arms, they're walking right up to the site to prove that they can take this site in the North Galilee. They can come across the border and take this site. And Israeli media was talking about this all night because they were saying, because the Israeli media knew it was propaganda, that Hezbollah's not pushed 10 kilometers off the border. And Nasrallah says from that speech that text that there, it just said, if the fighters wanted to go to the site, they would have gone to the site. And if they wanted to enter the site, they would have entered the site. So Nasrallah playing mind games with the Israelis at the Ramia site here. And you can see them taking their weapons right up to the edge, firing RPGs and AKs at the base, just to prove that they could take this base anytime they wanted. They're not 10 kilometers off the border. Let's do 25 and 26 really quickly here. This is an ALMAS. This is the reverse engineered anti-tank guided missile that Hezbollah captured from the Israelis and reverse engineered it in Iran. And here it is coming down and hitting Israeli Humvee right on, and you get footage of that. I have been tracking this weapon for you guys. We've been following it all along because it's a very interesting weapon were it to be turned against Israeli armor and Israeli bases in this way that they are. And if we go to the next one tomorrow, 26, you can watch this missile come in at 1,200 kilometers an hour and watch these Israeli soldiers at this border position look up and notice it coming in on them with the onboard camera that the ALMAS has. So that you can see the soldiers here. They come out of the and they see it, and they're looking straight in the eye, those two soldiers, and the missile can be controlled in that way. So Hezbollah has been upping the ante on the northern border in South Lebanon. The Israelis are talking talking a big game about invading Lebanon, but the way Hezbollah has been fighting this war and gradually escalating to have footage like this shown is important. We'll watch this last one, and then this is the end of the resistance report for this week. Just ended on this note that the Israelis are not prepared for a war against Hezbollah. They have lost their minds, so they may carry out a war against Hezbollah, but we'll predict early the crystal ball that Helena had, if she left it behind, that Israel will lose badly in a war against Hezbollah. And that is the resistance report from the south of the Gaza Strip to the northern border with Lebanon. Resistance still all through the area. The West Bank also has resistance everywhere as well.
Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.